If you're somebody who's been riding for a long time like me, you know technology has really changed our sport. On today's review, we're going to confirm that by showing how you can replace all of this with this. Welcome to Cycling on a Shoestring. I'm John, and you are looking for a light. And more importantly, you might be looking for a light that isn't going to break the bank. If you're cycling on a shoestring, I might have what you're looking for today. Over the last week, I found myself looking online for lights, and there's millions of them out there. It's unbelievable how many different lights are available, and it's hard to choose. And the reason I was looking for a light is because I started commuting to work on the weekends. It's warmed up enough to get out early in the morning. 3:30 in the morning for me, and I pulled out my old light that I bought 20 years ago that uses this huge NiCad battery, and found out it's just not holding a charge for very long, about 30 minutes now, so it has to be replaced. And I use this for about 20 years. It's been charged and discharged many times. So I started looking online, and I thought I'd found something that would fit my purposes, but then my wife came up with this one for $69.99. It's the Evolva Future Technology X8 light. It claims 1800 lumens. Now, I started looking into lights and I realized that it's all about the lumens. Exactly what are lumens? So there you go. That's what lumens are. Really still don't understand it all that much, but it's just a way of measuring brightness. And again, this one comes in at about 1800 lumens. And I'm going to go out and test it outside in the dark so that you can see what it looks like out there. We'll use a GoPro camera and do a little bit of a non-scientific test out there. But why don't we take a quick look at this and see what it's all about, how it mounts on your bicycle as well, and you can decide whether this is something you'd like to buy for your handlebars if you're cycling on a shoestring. Let's start off by taking a look at the box itself and how it comes packaged. So it comes in a nice little box. We'll take the top off of it. It says Evolva Future Technology on the top. And inside you've got the user guide, which we'll take a look at in just a moment. It tells you how to charge it, what the different lights on it mean as far as charging, and obviously how to change the different light settings on the light itself. In the package, we'll leave that for just a second. I'll show you that in a moment. You get yourself a mini USB charge cable. You get the actual bracket itself to put on your handlebars, and the light itself. Okay, so we'll move the box out of the way so it's not in the camera shot here, and we'll take a quick look at the light itself. Okay, so here's the light, and it's pretty heavy. I mean, it's got some good weight to it. Feels very solid, and it's all aluminum. Okay, of course not the front where the glass lenses are, but it is an all aluminum body on here, so it is very solid. And again, it's got some very good heft to it. You can see on the front it's got your two lenses for your lights. On the top, we'll flip it over here, it says Evolva Future Technology X8 with the serial number here. You've got your power button here, and this is to go through the different modes of the light itself. If you flip it over, you can see we've got the little charging port back here, which has got a little rubber cover on it to keep water out. And that's what's in this other little package over here, is they provide you with an additional rubber cover, which is kind of a nice little touch. Sometimes those things, they end up breaking off or you lose them. So you got an extra one of those, so that's kind of nice to have in the box as well. Now I just want to show you, I brought this out. This is a little tripod I use at times to put cameras on. And if you're not using the actual bracket, which I'll get to in just a moment, this does have a spot so you can hook this on a tripod, which is kind of nice. So I suppose if you had a different type of mount for your handlebars, or if you wanted to set this up as a light, maybe out on a trail you're trying to take shot, you could use this as a light, not specifically on your handlebars, but kind of a nice little touch that they put in there as well. So I think that's kind of a nice touch. Now, just looking at the body of it itself, you can see it's got these little fins along the side here. I'm assuming with this being a very bright light that it's kind of going to get hot. So these fins might dissipate some of the heat or allow it to keep cool, because when you're on your bike, you're going to be traveling down the road. It's going to get some air across it to help keep it cool, but you've got fins along the side, but a very solid body, well put together. some screws on the back, I guess, if you were going to remove the battery, but they do suggest in this to not open it up and mess with it yourself. I don't know enough about those things, but a very, very solid light. And again, it's got some good heft to it. Now let's take a look at the bracket itself. The bracket slides on from the back like this. All right, slides on and it snaps in there really nice and tight. And then you've got the little screw knob here that fits over your bracket. And I'm going to show you how this goes onto your bike in just a moment, okay? But it just clamps down like that, and then you tighten it from the back like that, okay? Now it's made out of a very hard plastic. I know that this light came with a strap at one time, and they've redesigned it with this. And it feels very, very sturdy and strong. We'll see how it fits on the bars in just a moment. A couple of different size bars to see if it'll fit on my mountain bike bars, which are much larger than my road bike bars. And it's also got rubber in here. Okay, so that's not going to slide around. Those are 2 pieces of rubber right in here so that it's going to keep it sturdy on your bike. And you just push on this back here and it slides off. So pop it on and remove it. Now another nice little touch on this is that if you put it on your bar, and perhaps your bars are a bit on an angle, because they may swoop back a little bit, it might not be pointing straight down the road. So a nice touch on here is it's got these little detents, so you can turn it on your bars. So right now, if you put it on your bars, it would be, if you had straight bars, it'd be like that, right? So you can see how they added that little touch. I'll turn it back so that you can position it straight down the road. I think that's a terrific little addition to it as well. So I think it's a really, really fancy little light, very well built, and I'm looking forward to getting it out on the road to use it. I'll show you how it works outside in just a moment in the dark. Now, let's take a look at the light itself. So you've got, again, those 2 buttons. You've got a power button here, and you've got your mode button here. So just hold it like that and it will turn on. Now I do not want to put it directly into the lens, but you can see the light is on. You hit that, it brightens up. You hit it again, it brightens up even more. So there's 2 different mode settings on this. You can have it on low, medium, and high, which it's on right now. Low, medium, high. Or if you hold the button down, you've now got it into the other settings. So you have it on eco, you have it on low, you have it on medium, you have it on high, then you've got a flash, okay, and then what they call SOS. So it's another type of flash, not quite as bright, with a different pattern. So I'll show you that again. So hit it there, that's on eco, that's on low, that's on medium, that's on high. You get the flash, you get your SOS, and then you hold the button in, and it goes back to its previous pattern, which is just low, medium, and high. So it's very, very simple to use. Now, if you look at the top, I'm going to turn the light off right now. If you look at the top, the little black button here turns blue. Hopefully you can see that. I'll see if I can get a focus up really tight on it so you can see it. Do that again. It's blue right now, okay? So it's pretty much charged up right now. So it's between 160% of its charge. Now when it turns red, that means it's between 60 and 30% of its charge. And if it's blinking red, that means it's below 30% and you'll need to charge it up again. So a nice little indicator on there as well to let you know if you need to charge the thing. That can be a real issue. And all you do is you can plug it into a wall outlet or you can plug it into your computer. Now my suggestion is, although I don't know a lot about electricity, I'm going to be plugging it into my computer. I've had issues with rechargeable things in the past where they have burned out the little lithium ion battery on the inside because I think maybe I've got the wrong type of charger on them. And I know that USBs on a computer are a low speed charge, but I think maybe the battery will last a little bit longer. You can mess around with that yourself, but that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do now is let's bring out a couple of bikes. We'll see how it fits on different size bars and what it looks like on your bicycle, perhaps, if you're interested in buying the Evolva Future Technology X8 1800 lumen light if you're cycling on a shoestring. I hope you can get a good shot of my bars here so I can show you how it fits on. But before I go on, I do want to mention the light settings on this. You're probably wondering how long the light is going to last. Just by looking at the instruction manual, they say if it's on the low setting, it'll last for 16 hours and 50 minutes. That's at 180 lumens. On the medium setting, that's at 850 lumens for 6 hours and 20 minutes. And on high at 1800 lumens at 4 hours and 15 minutes. So if it were to get half that time on high, which they're saying is 4 hours and 15 minutes, I'd be pleased with that. I guess it's going to have to be seen whether it's going to last that long, but pretty impressive if this little battery in here can make that thing work at 1800 lumens for 4 hours and 15 minutes. Now, before I put it on here, I have tried this, and this will not fit on the thick part of this mountain bike's bars. Now, this is a Race Face Effect 780 millimeter bar, and it's very big right here at the stem. But the nice thing about this, and I showed you this a little earlier, is you can move it over to a place where it gets narrower as you get closer to the brake levers. We'll tighten it on there, and I'll show you how this works and fits on there and how tight it goes on. By putting it on right here, the light will be focusing towards the left side of the bike, right? Because the bar sweeps back a little bit. I'm going to tighten it up on there. And again, the bracket itself feels pretty darn sturdy. And you can tighten it down pretty good so it doesn't move around. And it does have that rubber on the inside of the bracket itself, so it's going to stick and not slide around on your bars at all. So we'll get it down there nice and tight. We'll just tilt it down a little bit. Still haven't got it fully tightened on there, but getting it tighter and tighter, and now there we go. So on there good and tight. And again, it's facing a little bit out towards the left, so that's where that detent or adjustment is on there, so you can turn it either way and get it facing straight down the road, which is a real nice feature. And again, if you have very long sweeping bars, that's going to come in handy. You might have it further out towards the end. It's facing out to the left or the right, depending on what side you have it on. You can face it straight down the road, so the light is positioned on the road. But it's on there good and solid. Now, it remains to be seen whether this is going to bounce around a lot or wobble if you're on a really rough mountain bike trail. I don't know that I'm going to be doing any nighttime mountain biking. I used to do that a lot. I'll let you know if I do, and I'll give you an update on it. But I'm sure this is going to be fine. If you were on a gravel road, maybe a fire road, and you're not on too bumpy, I would suggest it would be perfectly fine for that. But as far as a full mountain bike trail, it remains to be seen. Let's see what it looks like on my road bike. So as you can see, I've got my road bike, and this is basically the configuration I'm going to have. I've got my bell over here. I've got my Garmin right here. I'm going to stick this right in here up next to the stem. And the bar's much smaller, as you can imagine, than my mountain bike. And this is going to fit on here perfect. No issues at all. And just snug it right up there. It's not going to bounce around, and it'll be perfect for the road. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you some footage I shot earlier this morning outside in the dark. I wanted you to be able to see what the different light levels look like. Now, I have looked at this video in advance, and I can tell you this, I shot this on a GoPro camera. It does not do the light justice. It looks far brighter, and it looks like it reaches much further than you actually see in this video. But I wanted to give you some idea. To give you an idea of how wide the beam is, if you're riding on the right-hand side of the road here in North America or someplace where you ride on the right side of the road, you would easily see the sidewalk on the right side of the road and get a good light on the other oncoming lanes of traffic. I would suggest that if you had a 90-degree angle of your light, it would be 120 to 130 degrees out front of your bike. So it puts a pretty wide swath of light onto the road. Let's take a look at that video now. So here I am out back of my house. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, so I'm going to try to keep it quiet because I do have some neighbors, just to test out the light. And I think this will give you an idea of the brightness of the light, but I'm not really sure it'll give you a good idea of what it would be like on your bicycle because I'm using a GoPro camera. And that's just the way things are, I guess, with this particular test I'm doing here. So right now it's on the low setting. Okay, so you can see that. I'll just tilt my head down. Hopefully you can get a good view of that. All right, so let's put it on the medium setting. There you go. All right, and let's go to the high setting. I think you can see it puts out a pretty wide beam out in front of the bicycle if you're riding. Right now I'm just standing in my back laneway. But you can see that. We'll just tilt down here again. Then back out. And it goes significantly down the road as well. So let's go to low again. Kind of hard probably to see that one because it is very light. That's your medium setting. And we'll go to high. There's your high setting right there. And there you go. It's the Evolva Future Technology X8 Lite, 1800 lumens. I think this is a terrific package for the price at $69.99. If you're cycling on a shoestring, I don't think you can go wrong. I'll let you know if I have any issues with this. Maybe it stops charging or the lights stop working. Otherwise, I think this is going to be perfect for my commute every weekend out in the dark at 3:30 in the morning. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel, ring the bell as well so you get notifications of future videos. I'd like to thank you very much for watching Cycling on a Shoestring.